Here's Phil Hendry, 1-800-449-8686.
Of Beverly Hills.
No, you're not kidding.
Steakhouse, come on down.
And this segment of the Phil Hendry Show brought to you by Ted's of Beverly Hills. Right now, we've got that great porterhouse steak for two, only $63.95. You got a Ted on the house. Pick a potato for the big potato tree.
Where you want to put our meat in your...
Cameron Diaz, so the topless photos you're saying? Ted Bell joins us from Ted's of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, there were some topless photos apparently that Cam, and I call her that because I've been introduced to her a couple of times. She allegedly did some topless photos.
Yeah, and she's trying to get the rights to those. The guy that took them is allegedly trying to have them published and wanted some money.
Well, they're saying it's extortion. I think she's probably going overboard a little bit. One of just the point I was trying to make with you, Phil, is this. There's been an awful lot made lately of these topless photos of celebrities. Topless photos of celebrities and topless photos of celebrities. And I don't believe you should violate someone's privacy. I also think there has to be a reality faced. Cameron Diaz is a beautiful woman. Please don't misunderstand me. But Cameron is a woman who, like many, was not blessed. And this is why it's very pursuant, interestingly enough, pursuant to the topic you were talking about in this last, when I turned the radio on here a few minutes ago, that the lady from the Homeowners Association. Some women are not blessed with a large chest. Now, that's one area. But in point of fact, there are some women where it really doesn't, in my opinion, it's no longer obscene or it's no longer an invasion of privacy to show a picture of them topless, because at some point you have to draw a line between the woman showing something and basically you might as well be looking at a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? In other words...
What are you saying about Cameron Diaz, that she doesn't have a chest?
Well, I don't think it qualifies insofar as any photograph of her topless is indecent. And I think that the courts are beginning to recognize this.
Well, cite a case.
I don't know of any cases, but I do know that there are a lot of photographers who have topless photographs of individual women who say, well, I'm going to sell these photographs. They say, well, that is an invasion of her privacy because she's topless. And the photographer will say, yes, she's topless, but then Arnold Schwarzenegger has been photographed topless. Phil Hendry has been photographed topless. A lot of men have been photographed topless, a lot of women. At what point is there no difference in a woman being topless and a man being topless? And I say, and I think there are a lot of lawyers that would argue, when the woman is so underendowed that it doesn't matter anymore. You see? And
so that's what you're saying about Cameron Diaz.
I'm saying, let me ask you this. My daughter, when she was 4 years old, we would take her to the beach. Okay?
All right.
And she was so small, just a little tiny girl, we would put her in her diaper and she'd walk around. Okay, technically she's a female and technically she's topless. Would you call it obscene?
A 4-year-old?
Yes.
Of course not. She's a baby. She's not developed at all. She's just a baby.
Well, that's the point that I'm trying to make. At what point do you say, Ms. Diaz, with all due respect, what's the difference between photographing you topless and a young man? All right. And
so what you're doing here in one fell swoop is you're insulting Cameron Diaz.
No, I'm not insulting Cameron Diaz. What I'm saying,
and any woman who may not, quote, qualify to have breasts.
Well, but the point that I'm trying to make is Cameron Diaz is a beautiful woman. She's a respected actress. She has no shortage of male admirers. And I don't think there's anything wrong with her life. I think she can let this one go. I think she's going to get absolutely taken apart in a court of law. I think they are going to take her apart limb from limb in a court of law. Because
what are they going to do? This look at.
I'll tell you what they're going to do. The photographer's going to hire an attorney who's going to argue, Your Honor, this is a case that Ms. Diaz argues violates her privacy, her right to privacy. to it, the exposure of her breasts. And with point, he's going to do it a lot better than I could do it, but basically to say, what breasts, And so what we're saying here, and I think what the attorney for the photographer is going to say is there is no invasion of privacy because you can't see nothing, And Ms. Diaz is arguing because I think she's a star and she believes that she's. And a lot of women are like this. I think a lot of women have been brainwashed into believing that any time they are topless, it's an exposure of something very private. It's private if you have breasts. I don't know how else.
Look it, man. Is there a woman alive that doesn't have breasts?
No, there's not a man alive if you want to get right down to it. But the point is, at what point does the mammary gland qualify as a bona fide, that is a breast? And at what point, when you're talking about a Cameron Diaz or some women, where we're quibbling here, I mean, you might as well be, as I said, you might as well be looking at a, shirts and skins basketball game, like I said to my son the other day, But really, Phil.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, Cameron Diaz, these photographs, look, somebody thought it was worth taking pictures of her topless.
Yeah, some guy did think it was worth taking pictures of her topless. And there's a lot of guys, I'm sure, that will want to see her topless. But when you take a look at her topless, you're going to go, that's great, thanks a lot. Thank you very much for my $350 or whatever it cost me to, spend on the Penthouse or Playboy or Maxim or FHM or whatever I bought. Yeah, thank you very much. She's Cameron Diaz. She's a big star. I got a shot to, look at her topless, and it's a guy. It's not a guy, and I don't mean to say.
See, the more you talk, the more insulting this is to her. You say you know her?
No, I'm not trying to insult her. I'm trying to say there is a legal point that has to be observed here. And I think if Cameron Diaz presses the point, a real good attorney is going to, you talk about walking out of there topless, she won't have any clothes on at all, man. She'll be walking out with a barrel and 2 straps over her shoulders. They get rid of her because she's suing him. All right? And he's going to get all the court costs out of her and everything. That's what I feel. So I guess really the point is that there are many women in Cameron Diaz's position who imagine that they have breasts. And
okay, look, no woman imagines that she has breasts. She's got breasts, unless, of course, there are some women who've, unfortunate though they may be, have had some surgery as to cancer, for instance. But we're talking about a healthy woman who has breasts. Now, she may not have the biggest breasts in the world, right?
What are you talking about? Either she's got breasts or she doesn't. I'm telling you right now, Cameron Diaz doesn't have any. Now, you can cut it any way you want, Phil.
What do you mean she doesn't have any?
She doesn't have any. How can you call that indecent exposure or exposure private when there's nothing there? I'm going to bring up the example again. My 4-year-old daughter.
Your 4-year-old daughter is a 4-year-old little girl in a diaper, okay?
Uh-huh. So I'm supposed to put a 2-piece bathing suit on her?
No, it's a baby. Frankly, I've seen little girls up to the age of 5 and 6 running around without a top on. Big wow. Once a little girl gets to be a little older, just for her own sense of, her own sense of clothing, what is appropriate, what isn't, you might want to start dressing her in a 1-piece or a 2-piece. I don't know. But a little
Well, wait a minute. So the 4-year-old doesn't have a top on, why? Because she's a baby or because she doesn't have breasts?
I'm not going to get into this discussion with you. The baby is a baby.
All right. But I think we both know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we both know what we're talking about. And you're saying Cameron Diaz is built like a 4-year-old baby.
Yes.
Oh, get out of here.
Okay, all right, great, fine. Then when these pictures are finally made public, as I'm sure they will be because, I don't think she can stop it, there's going to be a whole lot of guys that are going to want their money back on that subscription to whatever. High society.
Yeah, it'll make high society, I'm sure. All right, Ted Bell joining us here on the Phil Henry Show. Our number is 1-800. What are we playing the commercial for?
The end of the segment.
Ted's of Beverly Hills Steakhouse.
Oh, man.
Come on down.
Hey, listen, whether you're topless or whether you're fully clothed, I don't care. Come on down to Ted's of Beverly Hills. I tell you what, any woman that comes in topless gets a free baked potato for the baked potato tree, courtesy of Ted's of Beverly Hills. Free Ted.
You're kidding, right?
Of course I'm kidding. Well, if you're topless but you don't have anything to cover up, yeah, come on in. I'll give you a free baked potato.
So in other words, all flat-chested women.
All flat-chested women who are topless get a baked potato, yes. It went right hot off the tree, if you'll pardon the expression. That tells you Beverly Hills. Bedford, Beverly Hills.
All right, Ted. 1-800-449-8686, world-famous Phil Hendry Show.
Phil Hendry Show. 1-800-449-8686. Living on the edge. Always teetering, never quite falling off.